And welcome back, basketball fans, as we're in Choteau, Montana. Halftime here as the Choteau Bulldogs have come out and led this one start to finish in the men's game 33-16. We'll get back to more of that, but first we got a special guest sitting here, Coach Dustin Gordon. Coach, you know, all that can be said is sorry about that tough loss, but talk about it a little bit.
All good things have to come to an end, I guess. You know, we knew this day was going to come at some point in time. And all the times we've talked about it, we just wanted to make sure that it was a team that played better than us that night. And tonight, Choteau played better than us. You know, they're a quality program. They had a good game plan. You know, we kind of jumped on them early. They made some good adjustments, and we just couldn't readjust. And hats off to Choteau. They did a nice job.
Now, obviously, anytime there's a loss, you want to look for positives. And a couple positives that I saw, obviously, was Natalie and Liz. Both of them did a great job with your two leading scorers tonight. Talk about their contribution on the floor.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. Nat and Liz do a lot of scoring for us. Great players. You know, they drew a lot of focus tonight. And, you know, a lot of good things happened tonight. We turned the ball over more than we need to, but that's probably a good thing. They exposed some things that we need to get taken care of going into tournament time. And, you know, that's the most important thing. And that's what we've talked about all along. You know, the whole wins and all that stuff, that's all cool, but ultimately that's not our end game. Our end game is to make it to the state tournament in Great Falls. And tonight, I would say this, tonight is a lot on me. You know, if anything, I didn't have us prepared for what we saw, and certainly we kind of knew we wanted to get, but we didn't execute very well, and that's on me. That's all me, and I'm going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to retool and be ready for it next time.
You know, and one other positive I want to talk about, Coach, and it's all these folks that are sitting around you here. I saw the emotion and felt and heard the emotion throughout the game, you know, as the girls need a little spark. And then it was over, standing ovation. They didn't care what the scoreboard said. They are 100% behind this team. I can see it on your face and I can see it on their face. Talk about your crowd a little bit, Coach. We
have the greatest fans in the state of Montana as far as I'm concerned. Rich, proud tradition, especially on the hard court. And tonight what they did with the standing ovation for the girls in a loss, I mean, that's just classy. That's just what it's all about. And I couldn't be more proud to represent them and represent our community. And even the girls come out of the locker room, they got another standing ovation. That's just unbelievable. That's what it's all about. It says a lot
about the community and the team there. So
sure.
And now let's talk about tournament. Tournament time's coming up next week. You know, a loss is something that you want to put behind you. How are you going to do that getting ready for the tournament? What are the things that you're going to learn from this moving forward?
A lot of great coaches. Gamrod's been telling me every year for a long time that I need to get a loss before we go to tournaments to make us refocus. But, you know, it's good. It's good to get a little bit of pressure off a lot of things. Like I said, mentioned here a minute ago, I saw some things in there that we need to clean up that I didn't realize we need to clean up. You know, we're still going to come in as a 1 seed. Choteau's going to come in as a 2 seed. There's a good chance we might see them again if we handle our business, they handle their business, and that's all good. You know, it's okay. The sun's going to come up tomorrow. We got beat in a hostile environment by a good team. It's all good. It's okay.
Absolutely. Of course, it's pretty easy when you talk to any other state. The team that they're looking at is Fairfield. Outside of Choteau, who are some of the teams that you're watching, maybe not just at the district, but even the division on the state level, some ones that we need to be keeping an eye on?
Yeah, absolutely. One has to be keeping an eye on Malta. I mean, Malta's a great team with great experience, great depth. They're loaded with talent. Forsyth has a great team down there in the south, and so does Manhattan. Manhattan hasn't been beat yet this year. I'm going to go actually watch them this Saturday. Very good team. I went and watched a pretty good Big Four team over in the west. Loyola can be dangerous at times. They can shoot the ball pretty well. You know, I would say those teams right there are probably the most consistent. Shepherd has a real nice big girl that's off. She's a load. She's tough. So, you know, it's wide open. It's anybody's deal this year.
Of course, we don't want to look too far ahead, but provided you make it to state tournament, which is what we're all pulling for here, what kind of advantage is that, having that in your backyard?
That's huge. You know, when you can sleep in your own beds and you know, come home and get a home-cooked meal as opposed to eating a greasy cheeseburger every night, that's always a good thing. You know, we're familiar with that environment. We're familiar with that gym. Not that we play in it, but we go watch games there and stuff all the time. So I think that's a big advantage, Fairfield.
Now, one of the things that Sarge and I talk about is when you take these Class C and Class B schools, the backboard is right up against the wall, and so your depth perception is a little bit different. You get into the Four Seasons Arena or Great Falls High or some of those, and there's a huge depth. What kind of effect does that have, and is there something that you can do to kind of practice and prepare for that?
No, there isn't a lot you can do. Sometimes you can find a place to practice, like when it's in Bozeman, you can get yourself a practice in a facility that's similar. But, to be honest with you, Randy, we got a lot of games we got to win before we even make it to the state tournament. We got to do some things right there. So I don't know. I'm hoping we get out of our district and feel pretty comfortable. Maybe we can make that happen. But Malta's a tough place to play, and we're still going to get everybody's best game. So we got work to do before we worry about the depth on the shots, I guess.
Exactly. So, of course, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Is there anything I didn't ask you, something you'd want to touch on, or?
No. Just once again, I just want to thank all the fans from Fairfield, and actually the fans from Shoto. I've had a lot of people come up and say nice things, and I appreciate that. It's a rivalry, but again, it's kids and it's high school basketball, and we all got to keep perspective. It's been a crazy thing that's happened, and it's been an honor to be a part of it. But ultimately, these are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and they're standing on the shoulders of a lot of great players that have come before them. I've got a lot of beautiful texts tonight from former players and alumni. I want to give a shout out to them and thank them for the foundation and setting the bar as high as they did. And we're here to represent them. We're here to represent our community, and couldn't be more proud of what happened.
And of course, the streak didn't just end. A new streak is about to begin, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but hopefully at least one more night. We got senior night tomorrow, and we just want to go take care of our business there, and we'll see what the road brings.
Well, perfectly. Well, good luck, Coach. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you sitting in, and best of luck in the tournaments coming up.
Anytime. Thanks, Randy.
Wonderful. And our special guest, Dustin Gordon, here as we are at halftime as the Shoto Bulldogs lead 33-16. We're going to go ahead and take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with our second half action right after this.